Hey, well, what's up, everyone? Welcome to The Collision. Daniel here, and I am honored and privileged to have two extremely special guests with me today. Matthew Brown, the director of the new film Freud's Last Session, as well as Matthew Goode, who plays C.S. Lewis in that film. Welcome, guys. Thanks for taking the time to stop by and chat about this film.
Pleasure. Thanks very much.
So this is a fascinating film. I highly enjoyed watching this film, and it's a film that does grapple with a lot of very big kind of life questions about just life and mortality and faith. But one of the things that did stand out to me is that this isn't necessarily a film that is interested in providing a lot of answers. So maybe you can share a little bit about that, just taking sort of an ideological neutral point of view for this film and kind of focusing more on the questions and the conversation rather than just sort of providing some answers.
Well, I don't think anybody, sorry, I'll go with that for a second. Matt, cool. Yeah, I don't think anybody really can provide an answer to that question because none of us have actually experienced, well, maybe there's somebody that's come back from the dead, but most of us haven't. So it's kind of hard to pick a side on that. And it felt to me like I feel like our culture right now is so much, it's the loudest voice in the room, and you want to everybody wants to, wants to be right about everything. And I think sometimes it's okay to just listen and to maybe learn something from the other person and to have a conversation. So that is what I was trying to provide, was a conversation where the audience hopefully can make up their own minds about it rather than having the filmmaker have an agenda to sell one point of view or the other. I thought that would have been a disservice to the film.
Yeah, absolutely. Sort of leaving the really does present both of these kind of these vehicles for these ideological opinions, and does present them both in a very in their best light, their most articulate light. And one of those characters in this film, C.S. Lewis, I know this is a character that, especially for people of faith, is a very beloved individual, and just for anyone who knows from the Narnia stories. And Matthew, you're excellent in the portrayal of C.S. Lewis. This is one of my personal heroes. Maybe just share a little bit about sort of as you went to embody this character, what were some of the elements that sort of the core of who he was as you kind of looked at his writing and sort of some of his history? What were sort of the essence of C.S. Lewis that you sought to bring out in your performance?
Well, thank you. It's very kind. But it was, he's such a fascinating man, and and there was an awful lot of research to go through. And I think actually the book that was most helpful to me in some ways, although I did manage to find a video of a tiny snippet of oh God, what's his name? We've been doing an awful lot of this today, and I'm just having a mind melt. Who did he marry later on in life? My God.
Oh, Joy.
Surprised by Joy. Joy.
Davidson.
I know all about this. Like all bloody. No, anyway, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Surprised by Joy was hugely important to me, and because it's him talking about his own childhood, right? So that gave me great perspective about his humanity, talking about all these tragedies that had come up in his life, and then there's this video, this snippet, as I said, of Joy's son that he adopted. Him talking about how he would occasionally burst into his room when he was writing, and he would take out his pen, he would put down his pen, and he was always full of compassion and laughter and very peaceful and joyful, thoughtful man. So my idea really for this was I feel like this man has to be honored, his humanity, which was fairly extraordinary. So, but I don't have a huge amount of words to do that with. So, you feel like and it's not a biopic, so which obviously give you much more to get across. So, yeah, I don't know. For want of a better answer, I just
No, and like
research led me to humanity, and that's what I tried to shove on the screen. Yeah.
And like you said, this isn't necessarily a biopic of these two individuals. It is focused on really their vehicles for these.
So Douglas Gresham is the son. Sorry, that has been
Oh, thank you.
bothering me.
So this isn't a biopic that's focusing on just telling the historical aspects of their life. Although there are several flashbacks, there are elements in this story that does give a deeper insight into who these people are, the experiences that sort of formed them, and I think ultimately their ideas. Can you maybe share a little bit just about including these flashbacks? I know this movie was adapted originally from a stage play, and I believe these flashbacks are original to to this story. So maybe just some of the thought process in including some of these insights into just significant moments in their past.
Yeah, I think that's what, I mean, you're right. There's significant moments in their past. And what I was trying to do was to have this film be really, um, you have the arc of the philosophical debate, and then you have the arc of the therapy sessions that are going on with these two men, and they're very human and flawed men that have had great challenges in their lives. And so I tried to use the flashbacks to give insight into pivotal moments that had a huge impact on their psyches. So with Lewis, you have PTSD at the forefront. You have losing his mother. You have the war. You have you with Freud. You have the relationship of him losing his daughter and his complicated relationship with his other daughter that remained. And so I was trying to find things in his life as well to show some of those. So anything that moved the story forward in terms of what's formed their personalities, I was trying to show those.
Yeah, and it does definitely ground their ideologies, their
I
abstract
think it does.
philosophies.
I mean, I hope so. I mean, I think it's hard to understand Lewis without experiencing some of that PTSD. Otherwise, you're just being told about it. And I think with Freud, it's similar. Like some of his flashbacks, if you understand his struggles, they come through that way on screen.
Awesome, thank you. And maybe just sort of a final question for both of you, just big picture about this film. We do live in a very polarized world today, and there's just something refreshing watching this film about two people and just a mutual respect despite very significant disagreements. Maybe either one of you, if you want to share a bit about just what you hope people take away from this film and just the power of sort of allowing these characters in a very respectful way to have these important conversations.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, look at where we're at right now in the world. We have two wars going on, and it's all about the fact that and we just need people to actually have these kind of debates. They don't even have to be called intellectual debates, because I think oftentimes the conversation is it's fairly simple, but what people aren't listening, and there needs to be that level of respect. We need to have. It should be a time of great oratory, and we should be inspired by proper diplomacy. So I think, but that starts in your own kitchen with your own family, before it can start anywhere, I suppose. So yeah, that's what I hope they can take away from it.
Yeah, I agree with Matthew completely. I mean, that was always my hope for this film, was that when the lights went on at the end of the film, people would get up with whoever they're with and have conversation, even for a little bit, a cup of coffee, a beer, whatever it is. They're just hanging out, talking afterwards, as you do about film, but maybe they can talk about some of the themes and yeah, do it respectfully.
Thank you. Well, this is a beautiful movie. I think it's an inspiring movie. I think it's a timely movie, just with everything going on. So thank you guys. All the best as this movie comes out. And thank you so much for taking the time to chat.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry about my brain fart there.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, bye.